So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Planets Through Dashamsha series. And today we're going to be covering Saturn in the 6th house of your Dashamsha chart. As in, what happens when Saturn is in the 6th house of the D10 Dashamsha, not your birth chart. This is one of the divisional charts in Vedic astrology that is kind of like showing your obligation in society, what actions you have to take in society, what is it that's going to manifest in that society. So here we're covering this position of Saturn in the 6th house. And as always, if you do not know, if you have this particular position of Saturn in the 6th house, what sign it's in, what other planetary placements you have there, including your birth chart. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy. And especially today, I'm going to be covering Mars's transit in my KRS vlogs there. It's kind of like a podcast. So, Saturn in the 6th house. So, 6th house in Dashamsha, first of all, naturally represents service. You have to give your service to someone. You have to give your service under someone. It also represents the routine, repetitive work that you do at your work. It represents your rivals. It represents your competitions, your enemies in society that are there. And 6th house also represents the debt that a person can incur through their career. It is also the house of prarabdha karma, meaning something with the 6th house is gonna have to be dealt with and paid for if you're gonna be, enjoying this particular life through your prana. And there's many more, alignments for the 6th house or meanings of the 6th house. But here now you're putting Saturn. Saturn, who is Saturn in the Dashamsha? Especially, well, Saturn is the Atmakarka of the Dashamsha. It's the soul significator. It represents, your work. And one thing we see with Saturn, okay, because Saturn is the malefic planet. Not the most malefic planet, most malefic is Mars. But Saturn is the one that shows that the person has to pay off their karma in this life in order to progress in life. Okay? But then there's another theory that says that malefic planets in the 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th house actually do excellent and they grow better with time. Especially depending upon the sign placement they have. So Saturn here actually becomes one of the best placement for a person's karmas to be executed. Because naturally it will progress as you age. As you get to your mature age, especially in your 30s, you will start to gain the momentum in your work. Your hard work starts to pay off. Second thing, regarding the rivals and enemies, you will probably hardly have enemies or rivals. And whenever they do, you will see somehow either they become your friend or they get suppressed. It's like it's an automatic wipeout of your rivals at work. And you got to understand, Saturn is a rebellious planet. It will revolt against certain things. So no matter what the placement are of an individual, when push comes to shove, this person's going to revolt against their enemies. They are going to go full force at them. And when this starts to happen, the enemy automatically starts to back off. The other thing we see is that you will hardly ever have to take debts related to your career. You will hardly ever have overblown expenses related to your career and in society. And you will get the fruits of your karma and your labor quite on time, But here's one thing that I will say with this Saturn, is that this person does become a victim of office politics. Office politics and gaining support of the invisible authority becomes the hardest thing for this person. What is an invisible authority? Well, you're, let's say, working for some big company, and you have your, 10, 15 level managers before you even get to the CEO. And this is where, that invisible individual who you may have never seen, that you only hear about, that support kind of gets cut. The other thing we also see that this is an individual who will have to pay quite a lot in taxes versus other people. And usually they don't ever, like one thing I will tell you with this placement is don't ever try to make hidden dealings. Don't try to be clever like, like some other people that can be clever making hidden deals with some other manager, hidden deals, and, trying to progress secretly. This person does it, they will get caught. They'll get caught, they'll get fired, they will get defamed. So that's something you need to watch for. However, this is a person who will be able to always attain savings and money through their hard work. They will also have the most impact through their speech. This Saturn in the 6th house, when this person speaks and uses their speech to progress, that's where it'll help them the most. And Saturn also shows here in the 6th house. Is that, like I was telling you about the rival thing? You will hardly ever have them, but you will make them. Especially your support system in life. The people that you know in a large organization, they end up becoming your enemy. There is that cycle that comes up. They become your enemy, they become your rivals. However, they get shut down. And the other thing we also see is most of the time these people will have very older aged bosses and authorities. You will not find somebody, like if you're 40, you're not going to find a 20-year-old becoming your CEO. You will have somebody much older and mature always be in charge, or you will only work for those type of people. So if you do get somebody who's young, somehow, some way you'll have to leave that company, whether of natural causes or whether of your own, cause. But overall, this is a placement that really shows a worker, somebody who's here to work, somebody who's here to put forth their effort to do everything. And you will see that these are the people, whenever Saturn impacts the 6th house in Dashamsha, they will always do routine, repetitive work. There's never like something new this week, new that week, new the week after that. It'll be for long term, it'll be routine, repetitive work. So even in, like, let's say, entertainment industry, this is a person who might be a film editor, and they will have to edit movies always, always, always. They can never get into, let's say, cinematography. They will never be able to get into special effects or like VFX. They'll be doing their editing. If somebody's an actor, they will only be picked for the exact same roles that they have done previously. If somebody has played the mafia, they'll keep getting the roles of the mafia and in those type of categories. It'll be very hard for them to break away from that routine and go to some completely different routine. But it will be broken after 42. After 42, Saturn then will eases out where you can actually have changes in your daily life. But I don't know, I can't think of any actor in any film industry that has this placement. Otherwise I would give you an example. But the thing is, just in real world examples, that's where the whole heart of the astrology is. You will see people just always tend to get into repetitive routine work, and it actually gives them success. They may not like it, but it gives them success. Okay. So guys, this is my analysis of Saturn in the 6th house for, the Dashamsha chart. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below and hit the bell button so you miss these type of videos. And if you want to know everything about your chart and consultations, check out the links here, including my podcast, called KRS Vlogs. Okay. So anyway, guys, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.